The year was 1996. The month was May. South Africa's permanent post-apartheid constitution was put into effect. Sammy Sosa was the first Cub to hit 2 home runs in 1 inning. Toni Braxton, You Making Me High was released, which went on to win the 1997 Grammys Best Female R&B Performance. John Tesh, final day hosting Entertainment Tonight. And McDonald's released the Arch Deluxe. The Arch Deluxe comes equipped with a new secret sauce for grown-ups made of mustards and mayonnaise, sweet slivered Spanish onions, fresh crisp iceberg lettuce leaves, 2 for each serving, a juicy, ripe, and delicious tomato slice. Great beef flavor can be enhanced with the distinct taste of hickory smoked bacon, a slice of classic American cheese, a juicy quarter-pounder patty of McDonald's 100% pure domestic beef cooked to perfection, sweet, extra fancy tomato ketchup served on a soft, buttery, home-style bakery bun. But why did the Arch Deluxe fail? Growing up, I was a fan of the Arch Deluxe, and I was definitely a fan of 1996 McDonald's because they had the great commercials, especially during the time of the Olympics when it was in Atlanta, where they had McDonald's and Coca-Cola plastered all over the TV, and it looks like they were, sponsoring the Olympics, and part of it seemed so American at the time. And to have a burger like the Arch Deluxe really just pushes Americanism over the top, and being proud to be an American is something new and something exciting. And also, it was part of the first Olympics that I can really remember, because I can really remember 92, as I was fairly young back then, and I was still fairly young in 1996. Don't get me wrong about it, but I could actually remember what was going on in the 96 Olympics, from Michael Johnson with the gold shoes running the second dream team. It was just a great time for sports. I could actually remember most of the games from when the Bulls were going on their second three-peat. Because from the first three-peat, I pretty much just remembered the third championship of that first three-peat. But my history of McDonald's, I started off with the Happy Meals, the chicken nugget Happy Meals, and the cheeseburger Happy Meals. And then I moved on to the 2 cheeseburgers and the combo with the fries and the drink. Even though I really didn't care for the fries too much, even though I would dip them in the ketchup, but I didn't really care for them as much at that time. But I eventually came to enjoy the fries more as I got older and graduated to the quarter pounders and the double quarter pounders with cheese. And then eventually I did try a Big Mac, because it was all the rage in those commercials with the sesame seed buns and going through the whole song, etc., etc. And then when it came up to Arch Deluxe, I had to try it. Because it's actually the first time I had bacon on a burger, on a cheeseburger. And I've been to Fuddruckers at the time, many years beforehand, but I never had bacon on it at all, on a cheeseburger. It's my first introduction to that, and I like how those commercials would play up the grown-up aspect. As I was at that childhood age, I'm like, all right, you passed a lot of the kid stuff, at least in terms of food, and you're eating like a grown person, definitely at that time, where you're consuming a lot of calories and eating, just as much as you would eat as an adult, teenager, etc. Once you got to that point, even though I wasn't at that point of being a teenager or an adult. And it was a good break because, similar, as you know, in Eddie Murphy Raw, You eat that homemade burger that your black mama gonna make, and it was exactly the same. By the time I saw Eddie Murphy Raw, I mean, much later years.
Gotta be a good cook. I didn't realize my mother was a good cook till after I moved out of the house. When you're a child, if your mother doesn't take you to McDonald's, you don't think she can cook. And I have one of those mothers, no matter what you want, she has the ingredients at home. You say, Mom, I want to stop and get some McDonald's. She go, I got hamburger meat at home. I said, I want McDonald's hamburgers. I'll make your hamburger better than McDonald's. You go, better than McDonald's? That's right. When you get home, you can help Mama make it. You say, shit, that's better than McDonald's. You must say, okay, go get me a big black frying pan from under the stove. So you hand the big black frying pan, and she said, now while you're in there, I want you to go get in the refrigerator, give me the chopped meat, and while you're in there, get me a green pepper and an onion. And you said, ain't no green peppers in McDonald's. I'm not making McDonald's, I'm making your mama's burger. I need a green pepper and an onion. While you're in there, give me an egg out too. What you need eggs for? I want hamburgers. You make an egg McMuffins. I'm not making an egg McMuffin. I don't even know what no damn egg McMuffin is. Just give me the egg out and just shut your mouth. And she take the egg and the green peppers and chop the green pepper up in big chunks. Don't even dice it. Big chunks of green peppers and onion and mix the egg in and put paprika and all this shit in it and make a big meatball and put it in the middle of this frying pan. And McDonald's, the meat is this thin. Your mother's shit is like this. It's fat with green peppers hanging out of it and shit, and there's a big split in the middle and grease is popping out and you're looking at it while it's popping, you're looking at the grease in the pan, you're thinking to yourself, that don't look like no McDonald's. Then your mother say, go inside the refrigerator and go inside and get me the bread out the bread box. And you go look in the bread box and you say, Ma, we don't have no hamburger buns. All we have is Wonder Bread. That's what I said, get the bread out the bread box. You gonna put it on square Wonder Bread? God damn it, bread is bread. You better bring me that bread before I slap you in your mouth. Don't tell me some Wonder Bread. How much is that bread cost? Tell me some shit about Wonder Bread. This is Wonder Bread. A hamburger is a hamburger. As you make it and put it in the middle of square Wonder Bread. At McDonald's, they use buns. The meat covers the whole bread. At your mother's, the meat's right in the middle of the bread. With grease running through the middle, making the bread stick to the plate. Now, big green peppers hanging out the top of this big meatball on the bread, and you try to put some ketchup on it, and to mix with the grease, turn the bread into pink dough.
Probably over a decade down the line, I'm like, yo, I relate to that, because when I was coming up and I was graduating beyond the Happy Meals and maybe the 2 basic cheeseburgers, hey, at that time, you're probably not going to spend... Folks ain't gonna spend that kind of money for that. Like, now you was at home, ain't going out for that, ain't doing that, etc. Ain't spend no money on that. So you get that homemade burger with the paprika, the onions, the green peppers, the bread in it. It's almost like a meatloaf kind of thing. Greasy, going through that regular loaf of bread, white bread, just greasing up. And that tasted good, no doubt. I like when moms will hook that up, no doubt. And then, maybe it's probably green beans, because that's the only vegetable I really cared for back then. And it's pretty much my favorite vegetable nowadays, even though I enjoy broccoli and the Chinese food in terms of the pork lo meins and, pork and broccoli dishes. And I'll occasionally eat I'll eat other vegetables in terms of a salad, from carrots and lettuce, etc. And of course, I'm a fan of collard greens. As I had matured and grew older. But the point is, why did it fail? Because I enjoyed it, I liked it, and I was mad when they took it away. But the thing is, it was a marketing fail. They spent hundreds of millions of dollars on research and commercials, but actually, parents at that time felt somewhat alienated because they didn't want to pay that much at McDonald's, even though it was probably no more than $3 for that sandwich. But at that time, people thought McDonald's was strictly kids kind of food, that you just go there and eat something with your kids, but it's pretty much all based around Happy Meals and play places, etc. It's not actually grown people food. But however, little did they know, those millennials at that time were the ones that enjoyed the Arch Deluxe, in my opinion. I know I enjoyed it. And I'm a millennial, probably not on the younger side of millennials, but probably at the mid to outer range of that. But the thing is, you can see where the trend was going. McDonald's was just too early with their trend in fast food, because as you have today, you have sandwiches that are more complicated at McDonald's than the Arch Deluxe and more expensive. You can have guacamoles and different various sauces on those type of sandwiches nowadays. They were just ahead of the time at that point, where McDonald's was just that, you know, even though it is still a drive through, pick it up, get something real quick place, but it was strictly marketed to children for the most part at that point in time. And they used that data, McDonald's, to come up with their salad shaking lines and eventually some of the foods you see today. So yeah, it kind of failed up. It wasn't as much of a failure as people initially thought. Yes, it was a failure in 1996 in terms of marketing and the public perception. But that information was later used, and as millennials got older, they're like, okay, cool. They could go back, McDonald's could go back to that type of creations as people, millennials, are moving into that fast, casual type of dining, and that's becoming popular. McDonald's was just ahead of their time, and that just proves when it comes to business, is you can have a good idea, but is the time right? Are you too late? Are you too early? And the thing about business, you just have to be pretty much on time and have your marketing straight for that time period. And McDonald's was just too ahead of their time at that point. I don't know if they could have done something gradual to have made the Arch Deluxe acceptable. They had other adult failures before then, like the McBLT or whatever they wanted to call it. And maybe that perception was still in people's head from their previous mistakes or previous dislikes of the past. But the fact remains, they did have a good idea. It was able to extrapolate it in the future. So they didn't actually give up on it, and they learned from their past mistakes. So you can consider that failing up, which is an important part of business. That yeah, you learn from your mistakes. You learn that what worked and how solid your research was, and like, okay, maybe I can reintroduce that in a different way in the future. So yeah, I like the Arch Deluxe, and it failed. But why did it fail? In my opinion, the Arch Deluxe failed simply because of timing, public perception, and the marketing campaign wasn't exactly right for the time, even though they did reach a millennial target audience for the future that they may not have known about. Because that's one standout things for McDonald's for me. It wasn't a Big Mac like a kid in the 70s might have thought of, or the 80s. For me, it was that Arch Deluxe in that mid 90s that I thought of McDonald's, and that's really stuck with me. That's my take on the Arch Deluxe. Iceberg Jim out. Deuces.